Hello, my friend. Welcome to Daily English Podcast. This is Walter. I'm grateful you're here today, listening, learning, and giving yourself this time. Today, we'll explore something simple but powerful, a positive mindset. Not the kind that demands you smile all day or ignore pain, but the kind that helps you stand tall when life feels heavy. A positive mindset is not about constant happiness. It's about how you react when things don't go your way. Life brings setbacks, stress, and moments that shake your balance. You already know that. But here's the quiet question I want to open with. How do you meet those moments? With despair or with a little light of hope? Think about a day when nothing seemed right. Maybe the bus was late. Maybe you argued with someone you love. Maybe your body was tired and your heart was heavier than usual. Did you notice how your mind shaped the day? A negative lens made every small problem bigger. A positive lens softened the edges. Positivity doesn't deny reality. It doesn't pretend that pain doesn't exist. It says, yes, this is hard, but I can choose how I respond. That choice changes everything. With a positive mindset, stress becomes more manageable. You find solutions instead of only problems. Your body feels the difference too. Less tension, more energy. This is why we're talking about mindset. It influences your relationships, your work, your health, and your dreams. And the good news is, it's something you can practice. Step by step, thought by thought, day by day. So, as we begin, ask yourself gently, how do I usually meet challenges? Do I fall into hopelessness or do I look for a path forward? No judgment, just notice. Because today, we'll explore how to cultivate that strength. We'll look at small, practical steps. We'll face the barriers that appear. And we'll end with a story to hold close. A positive mindset is not magic. It's not about being cheerful at all times. It's about resilience. It's about finding light even when the sky is gray. And it's about remembering that your thoughts are not fixed. They can bend, shift, and grow stronger with care. So take a breath, settle in. This episode is an invitation, not to chase perfection, but to plant seeds of perspective. Let's walk this path together. Now let's move from reflection into action. How do you actually begin building a positive mindset? You don't need big changes. You don't need to transform overnight. You start with small, steady steps. One of the simplest is gratitude. Each morning, write down one thing you're grateful for. It can be small: the smell of coffee, the voice of a friend, the comfort of your bed. When you practice gratitude, your mind starts to notice good things more easily. They're always there. You're just training your eyes to see them. Another step is reframing. When something goes wrong, pause and ask, is there another way to see this? For example, if you make a mistake at work, you could say, I failed. Or you could say, I learned what doesn't work, and now I know better. Same event, but a very different impact on your heart. Visualization helps too. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself facing a challenge with calm. See yourself breathing slowly, speaking kindly, solving one part at a time. This mental picture prepares your brain to act with more confidence when the real moment comes. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is also important. Notice the people you spend time with. Do they lift you up or pull you down? Do they speak with hope or with constant complaint? You can't always choose everyone around you, but you can choose how much space you give them in your life. And then, practice pause. When stress rises, stop. Take 3 slow breaths. Let silence fill you for a few seconds before reacting. This small pause gives you back control. You choose your response instead of being dragged by impulse. These are not huge tasks. They're tiny steps you can weave into daily life. Write, notice, reframe, pause, surround yourself with light. The beauty of small steps is that they add up. Day by day, you build new habits. So, my question for you is, which one feels possible today? Just one. Don't try to do all at once. Choose one step and practice it with kindness. That is how a positive mindset grows, not from force, but from gentle repetition. Even with practice, a barrier often appears. It's doubt. That little voice that says, "You can't do this. You're not strong enough. Nothing will change." Have you heard that voice before? I think you have. I have too. It shows up when you want to grow, when you're about to try something new, or when you're already tired. It speaks so clearly that you almost believe it. But doubt is not truth. Doubt is fear wearing a mask. It tries to protect you from failure by stopping you before you begin. It whispers, "If you don't try, you won't be disappointed." But here's the cost. If you never try, you never discover what's possible. So how do you meet doubt? The first step is noticing. When the thought appears, pause and name it. This is doubt. That simple naming gives you distance. The second step is reframing. Replace "I can't" with "I can learn." Replace "I'll fail" with "I don't know yet, but I can try." These small changes soften the grip of fear. It's important to remember, doubt is normal. Everyone feels it. The people you admire, the ones who create, lead, or love deeply, they all face doubt too. The difference is, they don't let it guide their choices. You're not weak for hearing doubt. You're human. Think of doubt as a cloud. It's real, but it drifts. Behind it, the sun is still there, your strength, your potential, your light. When doubt covers the sky, remind yourself, the sun hasn't gone, it's just hidden. When doubt feels heavy, ask, is this voice helping me grow or holding me back? That single question can break its hold. A positive mindset doesn't erase fear. It allows you to walk beside it without being ruled by it. You can acknowledge doubt, then still take one step forward. So next time you hear the whisper, "You can't," pause and smile. Then say, "This is just doubt, and I am still moving." Sometimes the challenge is not doubt alone. Sometimes, without noticing, we block our own progress. We create habits and stories that keep us small. Let's look at a few scenes you may recognize. Imagine you wake up already worried. Before breakfast, you open your phone. You scroll through the news, through complaints, through worries of strangers. By the time you finish, your heart feels heavy. The day hasn't even begun, but negativity has already taken space in your mind. Or imagine this. You're in a conversation. Someone shares an idea. Instead of listening with curiosity, your first thought is, "That won't work." You close the door before opening it. Not only do you block the other person, but you block yourself from learning something new. Here's another scene. You want to try something, learning a language, applying for a job, reaching out to a friend. But you wait for the perfect time. Days pass, weeks pass, you're still waiting. And the opportunity slips away, not because you lacked ability, but because you didn't start. These moments may seem small, but they shape your mindset. They plant seeds of negativity, of resistance, of delay. But here's the quiet truth. You're often the one holding the key, and just as you can lock the door, you can also open it. To shift, you need awareness. Notice when you start the morning with negativity. Notice when you dismiss ideas too quickly. Notice when you wait for perfection. Awareness is the first step to change. Then, choose a softer response. Instead of beginning the day with noise, begin with silence or gratitude. Instead of saying, "That won't work," try, "Tell me more." Instead of waiting for perfect, take one small, imperfect action. When you release these blocks, your positive mindset grows stronger. It's not about being flawless. It's about noticing when you close a door and gently opening it again. A positive mindset is not about ignoring your needs. It's not about pushing yourself so hard that you forget your limits. True positivity respects both hope and honesty. Sometimes people confuse positivity with pressure. They think, I must always be cheerful, or I must never feel sad. That is not real. That is self-abandonment. You can be positive and still feel pain. You can hold hope and still cry. The key is balance, walking forward without leaving yourself behind. So how do you practice this balance? Start by listening to your body. When you're tired, rest. When you're overwhelmed, pause. Positivity is not about endless energy. It's about wise energy. Boundaries help too. Let me give you 2 clear sentences. You can say no when something drains your spirit. You can step back when something steals your peace. These are not acts of weakness. They are acts of strength. Another way is self-talk. Notice how you speak to yourself. Is it harsh or kind? Replace I'm failing with I'm learning. Replace I'm too weak with I'm growing stronger. The words you choose shape the world you live in. Relationships matter here too. Surround yourself with people who respect both your dreams and your limits. People who cheer for you, but also let you rest. A positive mindset doesn't grow in harsh soil. It needs safe ground. So remember, positivity is not pretending. It's not pushing harder and harder. It's choosing hope while honoring your needs. It's holding joy and honesty together. When you walk this way, you don't abandon yourself. You grow with yourself, step by step, with kindness. When we talk about a positive mindset, it's easy to imagine something big or dramatic. But real positivity is often small and steady. It's not about smiling all the time or ignoring pain. It's about building daily habits that keep you balanced, even when life feels heavy. Think of positivity like a garden. You don't plant seeds once and then forget. You water them, you give them sunlight, you remove the weeds. Your thoughts work in the same way. They need care, they need attention, they need your choice again and again. So, how do you live with steady positivity? Start by noticing the tone of your inner voice. Do you speak to yourself with kindness or with harshness? Many of us are quick to forgive others but slow to forgive ourselves. A steady mindset begins with gentle self-talk. Try to ask yourself, would I say these words to a good friend? If the answer is no, change the words. Speak softer. Speak kinder. Another way is to practice balance. Don't push yourself into fake happiness. Don't deny your stress. Instead, hold both. You can say, yes, this is difficult, but I will try. That simple phrase creates space for growth without pressure. It also helps to create small daily practices. You can write 1 line of gratitude in the morning. You can pause for 2 deep breaths before you start work. You can place 1 object in your room, a photo, a note, a flower that reminds you of strength. These practices may feel small, but together they shape how you meet your day. Have you noticed how easy it is to be pulled by the mood of others? If the people around you are always negative, it's harder to stay calm. That's why it matters to choose your influences wisely. Spend time with voices that lift you. Listen to music, read words, and connect with people who remind you of what is possible. There will still be setbacks. There will still be days when your energy is low. That's natural. Steady positivity doesn't mean you never fall. It means you don't stay down for too long. You notice, you breathe, you try again. That rhythm of falling and rising is what creates resilience. Let me give you 2 gentle reminders you can hold as boundaries. You can choose not to let other people's anger control your peace. You can decide to rest when your body asks without guilt. These are not small choices, they are acts of strength. Living with steady positivity is not about chasing constant joy. It's about building a foundation strong enough to carry you through both bright and heavy days. It's about giving yourself permission to be human and still choosing hope in the middle of your humanity. This steady practice prepares you for the next step. It prepares you for the deeper work of hope, which is where we'll go in the final part of this episode. Every day gives us a new chance to choose how we think. Some mornings you wake with energy, with light, with hope. Other mornings feel heavy, filled with stress or fear. That's normal. A positive mindset is not about pretending those heavy days don't exist. It's about remembering that even on dark days, you still hold some choice. Hope is not a big explosion of joy. Hope is a small flame you protect, even when the wind is strong. It's the moment you say, "Yes, this day is hard, but I will keep moving." It's the whisper that tells you there is still something good ahead. Have you noticed that hope often begins in very small acts? A smile from a stranger, a kind word to yourself, a 5-minute walk when you wanted to give up. These small choices are the bricks that build a strong and steady mind. Think of someone you admire, maybe a teacher, a friend, or a person you've read about. They probably weren't strong because life was easy. They were strong because they carried hope through difficulty. And that's what you can do too. When you choose hope, you don't erase pain, but you balance it with courage. When you choose hope, you don't deny your stress. You simply say, "I can still take one step." That step may be as simple as writing one line of gratitude, or pausing for one deep breath, or sending one caring message to someone you love. Here's a quiet story. I once met a man who lost his job after many years. He told me that for weeks he felt like nothing had meaning. Then, one morning, he decided to get up early, put on his shoes, and walk to the park. He said, "I only wanted to feel the sun on my face." That simple walk didn't solve everything, but it gave him strength to try again the next day. Weeks later, he found new work. When I asked what helped him most, he smiled and said, "That first walk." It reminded me that life still moves forward. Hope is like that walk. It's not the answer to every problem, but it's the start of a path. You can take that path too. As we close today's episode, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. If this talk gave you comfort, or if it made you think more deeply, I'd love for you to stay connected. You can subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss the next conversation. And if you found it useful, share it with a friend or simply press like. Your small support helps this calm space continue. Remember this truth: you are not alone in your struggles. You are not powerless before your thoughts. Every day you hold the choice to respond with courage, to choose hope, to keep learning.